Everyone talks about the best exercises to build muscle, but no one really talks about the worst ones, because there are exercises that literally do nothing when it comes to building actual muscle. These exercises, I've been training for over 20 years, and these exercises have done diddly squat for me. And I'm going to explain each one, and I'll also give you an alternative to it, and I'll explain why. Push-ups. Now listen, I'm going to get a lot of flack for this because I did last time I made a video about this. Push-ups are a good movement. I'm not saying they're not, but to a certain point. If you have access to a gym, or if you have access to free weights, push-ups are going to be a limiting factor, because the limiting factor is your body weight. Once you're able to do a set of 20, 30 push-ups in a row, you really kind of maxed out the benefit to push-ups, and you'd be better off spending that time doing something else. And a good alternative to push-ups is heavy weighted dips. All right, number 2, barbell curls. Here's where I think they fall short. If you have lagging arms, you're locking your arms into a fixed position, both. Now, what happens is, because your arms are weaker, you're trying to overload it. So you're trying to add more weight. What happens is you start heaving the weight. You start utilizing other muscles other than your biceps. Your shoulders take into play, your lower back, you start swinging. It's not a strict movement. So by locking your barbells in, each arm is not working independently when it comes to growing your biceps. And you also risk injuries because you're swinging the weight, and you also risk not putting tension on the muscle. And as we know, tension is key to growing certain muscles. So if you want to grow your biceps, you have to put constant tension on them. So what I like instead is a dumbbell incline, because again, it locks those arms in position. It's a much more stricter movement. Or my personal favorite, the one-arm dumbbell preacher done off an incline bench. When you do it off an incline bench, it's a mix between preacher curl and a mix between a concentration curl. So you get the best of both worlds there. A lot of tension on the biceps, but also you're going to be strict and locked in, and each bicep is going to actually be doing the work. So I think your time is better spent doing something like that versus a barbell curl. Next movement. This one was tough for me because I actually like to do this movement. It's one of those movements that I like to do. Standing overhead press. I like to do them. It's just like a manly exercise to just go in there, grab the barbell, rip it up overhead. But as when it comes to development, a standing overhead press, not ideal when it comes to growing your shoulders. When I was doing them, I was competing in powerlifting, and I didn't even see any strength carryover to doing them. They're massively hard movement. I think they are good for posture and things like that. Massively hard movement, but hard doesn't always equal results. And again, when we're trying to grow your shoulders in this case, we got to look at something that's going to put constant tension on the delts. So in this case, you're probably better off doing lateral raises, cable lateral raises, shoulder presses, machine shoulder presses, dumbbell shoulder presses, something where you're very, very stable and you're able to keep tension on the delts. Standing overhead press, you're not really stable. Your body's got to stabilize you. It's a hard movement. It's definitely a hard movement. But when it comes to development, it's subpar. Number 4, this should really be called an ego press, but a leg press. So many guys, I see this all the time. Oh, I leg press 800 pounds. I leg press 600 pounds. And their legs are sticks. And the leg press is literally that, an ego press. How many people do you see in the gym? They load up the leg press and they come down like 4 inches and then they press it back up. It's ridiculous. It's a waste. When it comes to growing your quads, skip doing the leg press. There is no reason for it. I have pretty big quads, and I've done leg presses in the past. And when I would do them, just naturally, when I was younger, I would do leg press all the time because you had to do them. And I was like, this movement's stupid. I'm not getting anything out of this. My quads burn way more when I do hack squats, or I get way more strength when I do barbell squats. So instead of doing the leg press, focus instead on hack squats. It's going to put more tension on the quads, and it's a lot more of a stricter movement. Again, like I told you, the key here to building muscle, tension on the muscle. Don't just move weight from point A to point B. You're not a weightlifter. You're a bodybuilder. You're someone who's looking to gain muscle. And the leg press is just an ego lift. You want to avoid it. Next movement, number 5, seal rows. In theory, this movement is ideal because it locks the upper body in and you're able to just yank the weight up and really develop the upper back. But there's something about this movement. When it comes to development, it's just subpar to everything else. I'd rather use a hammer strength row or a cable row set up high. I get way more out of that, can squeeze my upper back a lot better. When I do a seal row, I'm really limited to how much weight I can move, which you might think might be a good thing in this case. But because I'm severely limited to how much weight I can use because it's a lot harder, the development is just not there. at all. There's something about the weight with the barbell. It's just not a good movement at all. Seal rows, toss them in the garbage, do a hammer strength row instead, and you'll get way more development out of that. The next one's for triceps, and this was an old school classic, bench dips. Bench dips, I used to do them. I used to do 4 or 5 plates. The problem with bench dips, similar to push-ups, you're very limited. You can only load a certain amount of plate. You have to get someone next to you, hey, can you load the plates up? And when you do bench dips, you're actually recruiting a lot more shoulders in there. So arguably, are you better off doing like a close grip bench press in this case? Because you can load the weight by yourself. It's much more stable. You're not risking real injury doing that. You don't have to load plates on your lap and possibly clip your friend downstairs. And when you do a close grip bench press, you're able to kind of push more with the triceps. Bench dips are a great movement to like burn out at the end if you wanted to do them. But again, just because the overload factor with them, they fall into that same category as push-ups. You're just going to get tired for no reason. It's not going to help really with development. You're better off doing like a press down or other movements that I talked about in order to develop bigger triceps. Number 7, barbell shrugs. I used to do these all the time, but when your goal is to grow humongous traps, well, you need to follow the fibers. Now, when you have a barbell in front of you, your fibers of your traps, they don't go up and down. They go more from your shoulder joint all the way to your neck. So they kind of go sideways. So in order to actually hit those fibers effectively, you need to be in a neutral position. Problem is, you're limited by dumbbells because you can only hold a certain amount. That's why I like doing trap bar shrugs, or my personal favorite is a machine neutral grip shrug. You have a machine neutral grip and you pull up and down. You're moving in that fiber window where the fibers move. You're following those fibers. Since I started doing that, I've gotten way more development out of my traps. Versus when I do the barbell shrug, I'm just heaving around heavy weight, and it actually puts a lot of torque on your lower back because the weight's in front of you. And again, like I said, because traps respond to heavy weight, you have to really load up. And again, you're just risking your lower back. Like I just talked about, tension on the muscles king. So instead of doing a barbell shrug, think about doing something neutral. And number 8, now this one, in theory, should really, really work. And this one has benefits. It's really good for your posture. And if you're someone who sits in front of a computer all day, I definitely recommend doing this. It's probably a good warm-up movement. But as far as muscle development goes, throw this one in the garbage too, face pulls. Now, in theory, when you do a face pull, it's supposed to be very similar to a back double bicep. So every time you're doing it, you're squeezing and you're flexing in that position. Problem is, nothing actually gets hit when you do that. I think, again, it's one of those things to a certain point. Once you develop muscles to a certain strength level, there's no carryover here for face pulls. So instead, you're better off breaking up that area and doing a cable rear delt pull apart. I like those a lot. You sit down in an incline, grab the cables and rip them apart. That really hits the rear delt, middle trap, rhomboid area way better than a face pull does. Like I said, in theory, when you think about it, face pull makes sense. Hey, my upper back is lagging, I'll just do these. But it falls short. When you're using that rope, you can't use enough weight, so the overload's really not there. You have to pause and hold it to get a really good squeeze. It's just not ideal for building muscle. Like I said, I think it's a great movement. I think it's a great movement for like warming up and overall postural development. But when it comes to putting on muscle, toss that one in the garbage. Instead, do, like I said, a cable rear delt fly. You're gonna get way more out of that than you would a face pull. Guys, I've been doing this for over 20 years and I made a lot of mistakes. So I want to give back to you. So all you gotta do is click that link below. I have a free 6-week training program that I want to give you. No strings attached. I just want to help you avoid all the mistakes that I made and doing exercises like this for all those years and not getting anything out of it. All right. So all you gotta do is click that, get that program. And this was Anthony, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.